After a loss on Towers of Doom to the right, we have Billy this time on a Nubarak. Team Liquid starting with Eternal on his Dehaka, the global play from him, whereas Arcana plays Liming, Nurok on Toronto, and Hazorps, he's playing Jim Reyna. It is, ladies and gentlemen, Team Liquid! You pointed out earlier the engagement we can see from Nubarak and how that can be punished. That's definitely something that worries me too, because when we see Nubarak in Europe, oftentimes it is paired with the URL. You want to have that armor bonus, or you might have that blaze right next to you. In this case, it's something Billy cannot rely upon, so he needs to be extremely careful here. And already we're having Hazorps also under pressure as Gen.G is going for early game aggression in the mid lane.
And it pays off well. Look at Team Liquid. They are bruised and battered. Some even Hearthstoning here, which gives Gen.G that immediate jump on that bottom lane, which means get that wave clear moving forward. And suddenly Team Liquid is fighting from behind it now, which means now Mercenary camp timings are slowed down. Gen.G opening up with a massive team fight and working out well for him.
There's a lot of aggression coming from Gen.G for sure. Liquid is now trading in with the trap that they're saying, okay, we are trying to bring the fight as well. We're not afraid of it. We need to show some confidence here. We can't just sit back and let them play their game. And they're going to be looking for those kills later on. They have the Celestial attunement right now, and for me it's really just a question, can they get those CCs? Can Dehaka make the move, get a drag in, set especially Arcana up with Liming? Once the Hunter's Mark is on the ground, you work the damage in and you get those resets for Liming, there are good chances for Team Liquid to do work in a fight. But when you look over to Gen.G, you see that Alarak, you see that Karazim there, and that aggression they can bring if they want.
For Team Liquid, it has to come down to flanks, right? Dehaka has to come in with the rotation on the Brushstalker, find that target, have a Nubarak come in with a quick follow-up. Gen.G on the other side, I'm actually looking at Karazim and wondering, do you consider Divine Palm here with that blow-up coming in from Team Liquid? You try to save a target. Is that why we have the Karazim coming out?
I would say it's definitely something that you think about. At this point, oh, nice attack against Tist. Not quite enough to drop Tyrael here. But coming back to your point, I really feel like you wait how the game goes. If Liquid executes extremely well with their attempt to take someone down, you might be forced into a palm. But especially around the plays that you can make with Urel and with Alarak, trying to just get somebody out of position, a 7-sided would also be a great addition to their setup.
This Mercenary camp, the top lane for Gen.G is doing work here. Already breaking through this turret, looking for the gate next. That spell armor aura on the back, that wizard has not been cleaned up. Hasselhoff's having a really hard time getting up there and putting damage in with 3 people on the top lane. Gen.G is going to be very happy with that exchange.
That was a fantastic push by them. But Billy, I love this. I mean, this little thing here right now, Gen.G taking the long path to the side, absolutely understanding that there is a possibility of someone waiting in that bush and trying to get a kill. That was fantastic for them. Extremely safe play here, giving the respect to Team Liquid here too. If they would have moved straight back down, Nubarak would have definitely tried for the engage, and then Liquid could have collapsed onto those.
This early game's been great for them. They're pulling Team Liquid around the map right now. Team Liquid went all the way top to respawn, another one to the bottom here to respawn at the same time, and Gen.G just works in these small advantages, takes a giant camp first, already having that push in the bottom lane, while Team Liquid is just trying to mirror them.
Exactly, and this is what we talked about. Liquid has a draft that says, hey, we don't want to be reactionary. We want to be the ones who initiate these aggressive moves onto a target. You get the burrow charge in, you're moving in with a Hunter's Mark and the Toronto stun right afterwards, and then Liming comes in with a combo. But so far, as you said, they're just following the steps of Gen.G, who with those plays at the top lane did great. But here comes the drag as the stun, as Gen.G is trying to go for the first Dragonite. It's likely that they're going to get it.
Yeah, Nurok had to use that Lunar Flare to make sure he kept his team alive, and Gen.G will punish that. They turn around and grab that first dragon, and the middle lane will be the first one to be pushed in. And don't forget about that top lane. Remember, that fort is exposed, and Gen.G is looking to capitalize.
Hazorps already a bit on the run here. Eternal moving up to help him out. Gets the drag in, a bit of extra damage onto Tist, but of course not really threatening Tyrael just yet.
Eternal floating around here, has that drag available. Meanwhile, that dragon pushing the middle lane. Liming is going to clear that up slowly. But Gen.G hoping to open up this map. But the best part about this dragon coming out early for them too is they can build for that level 10. They don't have to worry about the aggressive plays coming from Team Liquid because no shrines are available.
Kyoja at the top though is in trouble, but again survives as Dehaka just can't come in to make the move. Billy on the other hand moves in. Oh, and the kill against Reyna happening at the same time, but here comes that stun, and down he goes. Tyrael eliminated. Kyoja moving away, jumping onto Billy. Didn't see that one coming, but the Divine Steed keeps him alive.
Divine Steed quickly gets away. At the same time, Gen.G also took the fort in the middle lane too, so they jump up and experience 8 1/4 to the 7.5 of Team Liquid. So Team Liquid, even though they get a bite back, they are still hurting. certain, and they are behind as we head to level 10.
Oh, they definitely are. That was an easy DK for Gen.G, and they got a lot of value out of it. The extra pressure towards the top lane is also going to make it incredibly difficult for Dehaka to hold the access to the shrine, especially with him losing the fountain at the top side.
Team Liquid trying to lopside the map a little bit, though. Coming straight down for the night camp. Want to get that pushing in that bottom lane, grab that turret, get some experience there. Got to try and stay neck and neck against Gen.G as they slowly start to fall behind. But if they get the Spell Aura camp, at least then they can try and set up a kill on Alrock, who's been by himself in this bottom lane the entire game.
This is definitely now a position where Team Liquid can see if they can scratch that wall a little bit, take one or two towers down, and get some experience for themselves to bring it back. But of course, Dehaka now playing extremely safe. There's very limited vision for Liquid, and here comes an attack by Alarak, trying to go for a kill. Reset immediately following it up, but that's just not enough to pressure Liquid just yet. But they take that camp down, easy peasy.
Take it down, not even a turret fully falling here for Team Liquid. At 9.5 for Gen.G, they play it safe. You see Urel floating between that middle and the top lane, soaking every ounce of experience. At 10 coming soon. Team Liquid is going to be positioned here where they might actually just straight up lose this next dragon.
I mean, with level 7, we already have, of course, the extra damage potential for Liming now too with the Calamity. But as you said, the early level 10 could help Gen.G to easily get another DK here. Liquid is going to try and see how much damage they can get out of the camp now pushing topside. But they need to grab XP on all 3 lanes to make sure that as fast as possible they will get access to their heroics too, so that they can contest that DK.
Gen.G responds in kind, but Team Liquid is trying to slow them down. You see Sport Billy here dealing with Test trying to beat him away as Gen.G wants to clear up this top lane again. Grabbing the advantage when it comes to the night camp. This is huge. They can continue pushing this forward. And that will be the second fort of the game. Jumping but experience, but also controlling that shrine.
Great rotations by Gen.G so far. Really well done here. And as you said, that pressure play towards the top is now definitely threatening the fort of Team Liquid. But they have the level 10s. Now you can make those plays with Cocoon. Try and set that up. Both of the tanks actually anchoring the place here. Tist sitting in the brush, moving away for now. But it's going to be on Liquid to force that battle eventually.
With no Alarak here, Gen.G plays it safe. They didn't know exactly where a new rack was, and if that web came out, suddenly Team Liquid would have that 5v3 quickly. So Team Liquid does not get the fight they want, but at least they take that shrine back and clear up that camp, so the fort will stand. Gen.G keeping up with the trend, though, of going first with mercenary camps, grabs there on the left side, and Tis even thinking about going for an evade, comes on over, he has the Aldruin, but not going to take that.
Both of the teams definitely a bit cautious here. The series is tied at this point in the best of 5, a 1-1 after the initial victory for Team Liquid on Volskaya, and the comeback of Gen.G on Towers of Doom. Topside, that battle between Urel and Dehaka is still continuing, but he's making his move back down as the fight is forced. They're going for Alarak. They're trying to take Rich down, but he moves away with the telekinesis.
Quickly gets out there. Eternal even going for that isolation, wanting to try and grab it on top of Tis there, so they couldn't block him that sanification, but he hits.
Massive commitment.
Yeah.
Massive commitment by Liquid. They used the global, they used the cocoon, they used nearly everything to try and get this kill, and he didn't care. Moved out as his Cs were not stacked perfectly enough to not allow him that small frame of opportunity. And Liquid now, with all the cooldowns basically blown off, has to somehow try and make sure that they're at least holding on to the objective. But that alone is already a tall order.
They have Sport Billy here who can delay it long enough while Rainer's working on the top, but Kyocho's already there with that Urel, and he can buy a lot of time, especially with that Ardent Defender, and he's holding it. Sake's going for the channel. Sake will be able to grab the second dragon of the game.
Extremely well timed here by them. Urel holding the top just long enough, jumps over, has the Divine Steed, can easily move away here, and we see Gen.G with DK number 2. Fantastic defense against the aggression from Liquid. Liquid committing so much, getting nothing out of it, and then Gen.G immediately realizing, guys, we can make the play now.
Something to note, too, is we got that 7-sided strike coming in there for Karazim, Divine Palm. Yep. Gen.G not really feeling the pressure, and to be honest, why would they? So far, Team Liquid has not been able to capitalize. Gen.G grouping in the bottom lane and pushing in for the sport. They bring all 5, which is traditionally what they do with the objective.
Gen.G definitely out-rotating and shutting it down. Liquid now with the defense, but of course the level 13 tunnel is something that the Koreans want now. They go for the fort here. Dehaka with the soak on the side, trying to keep his team as close as 13 as possible. Here comes the move though. They're looking for the drag. The cocoon is already on the ground. DK is still busy with the fort itself. Their kill attempt here. Salvo already used by Gen.G though. They're looking for kills as Team Liquid is scrambling to escape.
Arcaner gets out, but he's low. Certification will be popped for Gen.G, trying to go for the straight on fort, and they will be able to get it. Team Liquid pops the Hyperion, but I wonder if it's too late. Sport Blade goes in for the Bro Charge, completely whiffs it, and there's the telekinesis into a 7-sided.
Down he goes. Already Nubarak eliminated. He's not the only one. Reina goes down as well. Gen.G, they get the 4, they get 13, they get the kills, they take everything and leave Team Liquid with 2 graves to dig.
Gen.G just way too smooth right now so far. Shutting down Team Liquid. Everything has a rhyme and a reason for them. Sanification to get that 4. The immediate backup from the Hyperion. A Nubarak makes a mistake. The immediate punish with a 7-sided strike and the telekinesis. Gen.G right now 3-1 in kills, but in macro, destroying right now. 2 forts down.
It honestly just looks elegant what they're doing here. Whenever Liquid is looking for a fight, they initiate with that cocoon, they're trying to get those kills, and Gen.G doesn't even burn big cooldowns for it. They're just moving effortlessly away from it, rotate, make sure that they get the decay, go in for the fight. Dragon Knight didn't even turn around when Liquid made the engage. They're saying, no, we got this. We have everything that we need. Now they rotate topside. They go for Eterna. There is no chance for him to escape. Down goes Dehaka. Fantastic rotation, not called out properly. Didn't see it coming, and now Liquid falling farther and farther behind.
The game just feels like it's in slow motion for Gen.G. Able to find these picks, their opponents just aren't responding in time. Team Liquid just can't get a footing on the battleground, and they're finally looking for that footing. You see Rainer pushing in the bottom lane with the Giants, but Gen.G takes away their night camp, gets that pushing in the top. That'll work on top of that wall there, which will eventually break down that 4, but Gen.G just completely in a position where they feel comfortable.
Gen.G is taking everything they want. They steal Team Liquid's lunch money right now, take the camps away.
Not the lunch money!
Yeah, that too. All the cookies. They're taking the camps away, and they are just walking over them in this game. Liquid, what they need, they really need to find a good fight. They need to find a good drag, the isolation, get the stuns in, make sure that they get a kill. Once they have some momentum, they might be able to fight back into it. But so far, Gen.G has been playing this game nearly flawlessly.
But how do you find those picks when you've lost map control? They can barely push past their keep wall here. All their first layer defense has been completely eradicated.
I mean, I feel really the engages that Liquid had weren't too bad. You try to force it around the cocoon, but then the follow-up has to be there immediately, and they need to confirm, to secure the kill. If they can't manage that, they have very small hopes of actually making a comeback here. It's only through a kill that they can do this.
One way they can do that is by controlling a shrine. Put their stakes here on that bottom lane and force Gen.G to step up. Gen.G with a Welch should be feeling a little bit comfortable, but if they can have Dehaka flank him before Urel gets there, that could be great for Team Liquid. But already, Kyocha coming in for that big flank. He actually wants to get this engaged, especially with 16 being here. And Hasselhoff's in trouble already.
Hasselhoff's in trouble, but the Salva doesn't hit him. He's trying to escape. Yeah, the 7-sided. He drops the Hyperion, trying to get the damage out, but he himself cannot escape. Once again, another victim as Gen.G goes for kill number 5.
Same story, same results. Team Liquid has just been way too slow there. Rainer getting completely picked off there. Great engaged by Alarak, and now Gen.G will make a play for the 3rd dragon of the game. And all they have left is keeps to take.
Another decay taken, and 16 in their hands too. This is going to hurt for sure. Liquid, they know that Gen.G is coming for the keep right now, especially with those siege shines already shelling away at the gate. The Dragon Knight on the way. Reina still down, doesn't even have the Hyperion to use it here and try and force the opponent back. Gen.G dominant in game number 3.
Giants adding the extra DPS. Arcana trying to get rid of those. Next will be that Dragon Knight they're going to focus on. Hasselhoff's is back, but no major heroics available. 40 more seconds for Tyrande, and of course Rainer 50 seconds for that Hyperion, which is pivotal for clearing out this wave. That Giant even still standing here.
And keep in mind, we have Sanctification, everything else still up for Gen.G. They can always even try, if they get a kill here, to go for the core. There is a huge amount of siege potential for them if you consider that Sanctification.
I think the one element that decided the factor of Gen.G whether or not they would go for that core is that Alarak. You don't want to be resetting on your stacks, of course. You want to be very careful when it comes to that. And of course, he doesn't really bring the best siege damage, but Gen.G definitely has those tools that if they found that pick, they could have gone for it. Gen.G sieging the middle lane here, opening up that keep wall. Might be a little damage on top of that keep, but Team Liquid should be able to hold, and their next objective is to get 16.
You really feel that Team Liquid is once again with the back to the wall, and as you say, they're looking for 16, and once they have it, they need to look for a fight and for a kill around that talent here. And it is a strong one for them as well. They definitely have the damage potential, but the execution hasn't really been on point yet.
There is one element that we need to talk about, that late game with Dehaka floating around. Suddenly death timers are starting to spike up, so any mistake from Gen.G could be something that Team Liquid can capitalize on.
I was thinking about that earlier too, and then I looked at the minimap and I was like, well, they haven't really taken down a tower yet, so you haven't opened the map enough to really get that global value.
And we're still at 13 minutes, typically where that becomes a major factor of 15, 17 minutes, but it is something that Team Liquid can start to bank on. But meanwhile, we talk about all that, and Gen.G is building toward the 120 and building toward another kill as a Nubrak is gone.
Beautiful. Beautiful execution by Gen.G. Great play here by Rich. And then, of course, the 7-sided could not be escaped. And that is the problem when you're running with it in Nubrak. Again, they're moving in. Liquid is on the run. They're trying to hightail it out of here. But in comes Gen.G looking for the kill against Snorok, and they get it.
Forturana destroyed as she is going to be picked off. Gen.G 7 kills to 1. Arcaner goes in for a little bit of damage on Kyocha. Kyocha able to get away and heal on up. Team Liquid now has to wait for 2 to spawn, and Gen.G can take the time to grab whatever is on the battleground, and they go straight for a night camp.
It feels like Team Liquid poked the bear a little bit too hard in game number 1. They've broken the dragon, and Gen.G is certainly willing to bring the pain here. They go for the cap again. They're already homing in on 19, and Liquid is struggling to find a foothold in this game.
Gen.G getting ready with the bear claws here as we build towards that level 20. Want to come in for the final swipes there. The shrine about to activate in about 25 seconds, and they'll be in a great spot here to soak up that full level 20, have the dragon, and push in for a core. Team Liquid needs to be ready to defend.
We have the epicenter now on 16. They are looking also, of course, until the mirror ball once again. There is definitely a damage output available, but we have for their opponent the cleansing touch on Karazim too, and that combined with his level 7 talent, with a blinding speed, is now, of course, another massive tool where he can circumvent all that CC that Liquid is trying to push onto a target. It all comes down to the engage. Do you find that cocoon? Do you find those stuns? Do you find that damage? The cleansing touch is there. The cocoon may be a bit too late, but they're still looking at Kyoja. But once more, Gen.G just walks away.
Sanification, Socket dashes away, and Team Liquid does not get the fight they want. And no major heroics burn. Sure, Sanification, but you still have that Aura Defender available. You still have the Salvo. Gen.G can turn around and fight at any time. They're waiting for their 20. They're waiting for the opportunity for Rich to show up.
And you can't help but feel that they're just a little bit too late with that cocoon. Again, DeHaka in trouble. The stun's coming out, so that's Hyperion. Salvo! Eternal is alive, at least for now, but Gen.G is not done yet.
Team Liquid does survive. They try to turn around. Sport Billy going in for the Impale. Is going to miss a major one, but Hasselhoff's in trouble as he gets picked off, and Gen.G is going to stomp forward.
Down goes Reina, down goes Li Ming. DeHaka is eliminated, and they're focusing their attention towards Billy and Norok. The 2 remaining Team Liquid members on the retreat as Gen.G is looking for another DK and for an opportunity to end the game.
And it gets worse here for Team Liquid. 3 catapults already on top of that core. You already have Reset stepping up on that Phoenix, trying to get some damage before to help out. Another web will come out on top of Tyrael, but Sake will easily get him out. They'll escape forward, and now Team Liquid in a position where their core is beginning to fall.
The shields are gone, and Gen.G wants the lead in this series. They're likely to get it. 10% on the core, and that's this game as Gen.G takes Dragonshire.
I think you described it best, Caldor. In game number 1, Team Liquid poked the bear. And the bear is fully woken up right now, and they are biting aggressively. Gen.G has completely shown their composure, has shown what they are capable of as they continue to shut down the European team fight after fight.
And it was incredibly well done. I'm not quite sure if it was really just a disconnect on the side of Team Liquid when it came to the execution of their composition, or more so just the pure elegance of how Gen.G just avoided all of these situations, just dodged them without even committing to cooldowns. I mean, how often did you actually see that sanctification needed to avoid any of it? They walked away, Sake with fantastic plays here, great cleansing touches, never really under pressure. It was extremely well done.
Well, we asked, could we trust in Rich to lead Gen.G through the game? Turns out, yes, indeed, we can trust in Rich. And I'm starting to see a trend, Dreadnought, for Team Liquid, and that's losing the early game. And it's starting to be a problem for them versus a team that is pretty good at snowballing.
Yeah, you know, I used to be on a roster that was known for the same thing. We were very good at the late game and making ways to understand win conditions, limiting yours, and finding the best opportunity to come back. But eventually you start meeting, as you move at the international level, the teams that are good throughout all stages of the game. And you realize that what you could get away with it maybe in your own playstyle and within your own region, it just doesn't hold up because that team knows how to finish out the rest of the game there. And I don't think that it's maybe that far down the line for Liquid. They surely have shown that they have those tools. But it does feel like it is a breaking point here for Gen.G.
I gotta ask you guys, we had the double night camp push in the top lane constantly coming in from Gen.G, where they got the night camp pushed in and they would always get the advantage.
Yeah.
And I feel like with Alaric being in the bottom lane, he's not the best pusher. He's not gonna destroy a fort if you leave him alone. Should have Team Liquid decided to group up a bit earlier and try to stop that in its tracks?
Yes, but I would argue not bottom. So there's one shrub whenever you see top lane pressure in the early to mid game from Dragonshire that you have to control, and it's between the middle Dragonite and the top middle Dragonite. That control over that gets the flank for the push. At no point in time when you saw the double night camp picked up was Gen.G able to be threatened in that territory. They move through, they wait until they need to strike, then they do, and too much damage is already done at that point in time for Liquid to recover. If they threaten off that moment, I think they can actually find kills in there because it's a two-man rotation every single time. And unless that happens, it's just we lose top, we're dealing with Alarak on bottom, and as I said, it's dance around the game until the team fights are not going to matter as long as Alarak can hold his own.
Caldor, anything to add before we move on to the next and possibly final game of the series?
Only that I'm a little bit scared at this point because Liquid just looked... The execution also wasn't there. They had a composition that said, we want to get kills. We want to engage, get the cocoon in, and then follow up and get that kill. And every time Gen.G just walked out of it. And there was not a single point where you felt, okay, now this is the point where they turn. They caught once Alarak at the bot lane. It really looked like the moment where maybe they can make something happen. But then it wasn't even close. So that's just Gen.G tuning it up a notch.
We're going to get a quick word from our sponsors. When we come back, Gen.G tries to send them home.
The 2018 HGC Finals are brought to you in part by Republic of Gamers, Corsair, T-Mobile, Samsung SSD, and NVIDIA.
It's all hands on deck for Team Liquid, the underdogs in this series. They came in swinging, they took a game off of Gen.G, but if anything, it just poked the bear, awoken the beast. And that's maybe something that Dignitas is not going to be happy with if they're able to make it through Miracle, or whoever makes it up there in the grand finals.
Yeah, I feel Dignitas has another problem before they have to really look at Gen.G. With Miracle's performance yesterday, I would worry about them first before I look at the final.
That's
they better
true.
be awoke.
Cart before the horse.
That is an interesting kind of like conspiracy theory, if you will, that some of the community has been throwing around. And I'd be willing to give it some credit. That I do wonder if, like, for instance, Gen.G had walked through this series and hadn't dropped a game and hadn't shown any sign of struggle, let's say that Dig or somebody is able to meet them at the top, if they haven't been threatened before that point, can they emotionally recover in this moment fast enough, especially if the crowd is going to be against them? And I wonder, is that losing that game going to better their chances when looking at the grand final? I'd be willing to say, I think maybe a little bit.
Well, Dreadnought enjoying a conspiracy theory. I've never heard that before. Let's see if we could get some conspiracy Illuminati confirmed with the next map. Team Liquid chooses first pick. Gen.G will take us to Infernal Shrines. There's got to be some sort of conspiracy here because they used to hate this map.
They used
sort
to.
of.
They
pick it, but it didn't work.
Pick an era too, right? Because in the back, at the kind of rising moments of the original roster of MVP Black, this was the go-to battleground for them. I think there's a lot of things that do open back up since a couple of the reworks, especially when looking towards the Kerrigan, and that is something we've got to be looking at. And also, I wouldn't put it past Gen.G to look towards that Sergeant Hammer route once more.
For Team Liquid, what are some favored heroes that you feel are must picks for them?
I mean, honestly, one of the heroes that I still think could make an appearance here, depending on the rest of the draft that they get, is Abathur. Trickstar pointed out earlier. We normally see Abathur banned within Europe, and this is a map where it was run by Liquid in the past, but do they get the picks that would really enable Abathur to really have a big impact here? That's my main question, but it's definitely something that always floats around in the back as a potential option.
For me, the hammer ban, obviously coming out here from Team Liquid, was important because I feel like they typically on this battleground build for that shrine phase. They're going to be going into that Alex draws. We've seen that in the past. It's definitely an option for them. So building a composition that allows them to control that point is one way for them to be able to break down Gen.G. And there's one that they showed off time and time again. That I feel like is their best chance to stay active in this series. But they do go for the typical Tyrande instead. You can't ignore her.
Kerrigan's still up, so is Garrosh. Team Liquid realizing that they need to adjust off of that Garrosh despite it being up, despite the Diablo ban, to make sure that they still get Tyrande.
Yeah, Garrosh, though, a little bit less appealing here, so I actually would likely assume that we're going to get ourselves a Kerrigan in this rotation because it's one of the aggressive, yeah, there it is, snap pick there, just because of the opportunities coming out from the Tyrael itself and being able to bear with that. But as I was talking about, Garrosh is normally the person we see with the Tyrande, but Garrosh on Infernal Shrines, you're going to be flipping skeletal defenders, not heroes, and that's a tough time there.
Offlaner is going to be interesting, I feel, for now, when we're looking at Gen.G. Is it going to be a Ural again? Because that can really ruin a combo attempt that we will see on the side of Team Liquid. Blaze already banned out here, and they ban Arthas instead. Always great to have Arthas around when you go up against Kerrigan. Works well with her, works well against her if you play your cards right. But I feel that at this point, you're going to very likely see Ural again for Gen.G, and so far, that has been a hugely impactful hero for them.
Is there potential for Arterial to be a side laner, and maybe we actually get the Garrosh for Team Liquid, and they just go full all in on the idea of trying to find kills, even though it is difficult around the Shrine phase?
I think if you go for that route, then you need to make sure the offlaner is not going to be somebody with wave clear. And let's be real here, in the current meta, somebody with wave clear in the offlane is pretty much a staple needed there. Malthael, maybe a little bit more vulnerable to the Tyrael matchup in the fact that he doesn't have the greatest wave clear, but he's got the kill potential to make up for it. And again, that macro pressure. Tyrael can do that later, but he needs to be able to build into that direction, I feel, to hold his own there.
So are we thinking URL for Eternal then?
I would really like it. I think it's one of the tools that they need. That or, finding a way to ideally have the bunker, but obviously that being banned out, not going to be a realistic option for them.
Urel and Gul'dan.
It honestly surprised me a bit that Team Liquid got away with picking URL for themselves.
Gen.G has been picking Malthael more, and I feel like that Johanna adjustment that we've seen so far throughout the entire series in the drafting is due to the amount of scrims that Team Liquid and Gen.G have played together, because they've scrimmed each other quite a bit.
I mean, you have a really aggressive setup now. You get the extra armor, you have the shields from Tyrael, you can jump in with all three of them. The Sonya comes out, we've seen that a bit on the side of Korea again.
I don't know if I'm sold, man.
I wasn't on towers, and they pulled it off. I just think Gen.G is on another level. I don't know. What are you feeling here, Dreadnought?
I think the biggest thing is looking at how many targets can be susceptible to the last rights combo with the Sonya prep, and how long does that Sonya prep come in? So you look at the Gul'dan, 1 spear, 1 W, call it a night. That's a last rights one shot. Urel, a little bit more realistic. Tyrael, one of the more susceptible warriors when that comes in. You can force the sanctification there. Kerrigan, very vulnerable, and Tyrande, extremely vulnerable. So I feel like this double warrior, or excuse me, double offlane, if you will, approach is very healthy, and it's needed purely because one of those two has to provide shrine control. And that is where the Sonya comes in to get the shrine control so Malthael can be in the offlane threat. And when the team fight comes in, Sonya preps, Malthael locks in, and just good night Liquid.
What do you think about a Jaina instead of a Gul'dan here? I think I'd be a little bit more sold on the Jaina, be a little bit more clear, but you get the ability to blow up that front line. Gul'dan's great later side for the corruption, but
It's another late game.
I honestly like the level 10 though, because that's something where you can start to finally destroy a little bit that cohesion that you see from Gen.G, and I think that's a big, huge part of why they go for that pick.
Right.
Because the blow-up potential with Jaina, absolutely agree, is way bigger, but at the same time, that Horrify can finally break that mold that kept Gen.G together.
True.
And it's a scary combo. If you at any point lock down with Kerrigan, you have a Tryna follow up, and then Corruption comes through, that's a ton of damage.
They need a ton of damage. They need scary combos because Team Liquid's life is on the line. They need your energy, crowd, so give it to them as we head into Game 4.
that's right. Team Liquid needs to find a way to break a Gen.G. They did it in game number 1, but since then, Gen.G has been shutting them down in all aspects of the game. Can they do it here, Caldor?
Well, if not, then they at least will go out with a bang, because that is an aggressive composition that they drafted here. A very aggressive one, to say the least. And I'm hyped for it. I want to see if they can bring this to a 5th game. Or if Gen.G now wins 3 in a row.
Let's move straight into it, man. We are going straight into Infernal Shrines here on the left side. The blue team, Sake, showing off his Deku Cane, providing those potions. Kyocha bringing back the Sonya. Rich playing some Malthael, looking for those last rights. Reset here to get those engages, and Tist on Johanna. It is Gen.G.
And on the right side of the map, fighting for their life in this series, Billy on Tyrael, Eternal on Urel, Arcane on another Hyphy hero with a Kerrigan, Nurok on Tyrande, and Hazobs on Gul'dan. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Liquid!
Everyone's eyes needs to be on Arcaner. He's put in so much work this year, but now in possibly the last game at BlizzCon, he is pulling out the Kerrigan. Can he find those combos against Gen.G, a team that is an expert at grouping up and punishing you?
It's another hero that puts the pressure on him right from the get-go. As we've seen in game number 1 when he played Tracer, you have that mobility, you have that aggression, you want to bounce around there. But it's also something else. Look at the level 1 on Nurok here, going for the moonlit arrows. Not quite what I expected, I have to admit, on the Tyrande, trying to go for the cooldown reduction instead here.
On one side, you have that cooldown reduction, which you're going to be getting on top of the shrines, right?
Yes.
You're going to be pumping out a lot of heals being available to you. And you're expecting to be aggressive here. So if you just get those heals and you keep that Kerrigan and Tyrael alive, eventually you're going to find that combo. On the other side, though, you're missing out on, of course, some of the major perks of the other talents.
Still a pretty cool adjustment here. Really, it's an interesting one for sure. But now we have also the aggression starting at the top lane already, very heavily. One of the things that I'm definitely going to watch out for is obviously Gul'dan. How many stacks and how quickly is Hazobs going to be able to get those? 5 so far, so already beneficiary of the early game here, trying to land a few more as we are seeing Gen.G move for the early camp.
All about those camps there. Gen.G able to grab that one in the middle lane. Team Liquid did the same to Echo on their side here. All about that wave curve they built towards that shrine face, trying to stay neck and neck in experience. Kerrigan around that shrine face can build up those shields and make it hard for Gen.G to move in. I'm looking at Sonya. She's got to be quick on that rotation, as Dread was mentioning in the draft.
Liquid has presented themselves really well at BlizzCon in general, but now this might be the end of the road as Gen.G has definitely woken up after game number 1. Liquid hoping, of course, to force this to game number 5, but can they pull that off? Heavy engage after level 10 is going to be what we expect here with the Sanctification, trying to move in through URL, providing the extra armor, and then all eyes are going to be on Kerrigan and the Gul'dan follow-up. But I really feel that with Gul'dan, it's honestly that level 10 where I can see them maybe breaking that synergy of Gen.G a bit, because it's really what I felt they missed to pull off in the previous 2 games, where it was just too much. Gen.G using it perfectly on Towers of Doom to keep Rich alive on the Sergeant Hammer, and then in the 3rd game, just again, no kill opportunities for Liquid, and I feel Gul'dan can be that linchpin.
The synergy really needs to be together, though, that's for sure. If Kerrigan goes in for that combo, you want to make sure you don't split him up too much, and you also bring one person into you to make sure you can have that Toronto Luna Flare, so Toronto Mark, and blow up a target. But it's definitely there for Team Liquid. Team Liquid for now, finding a slight lead in experience, but Gen.G is right behind them, playing slow and reactive, making sure not get caught out by this Kerrigan. But finally, it is judgment time. The shrine is activating in 7 seconds to the bottom.
Time to go. Let's see if Liquid can pull something off here. Arcana already starting to hop around here. Hazob's, of course, looking for the additional stacks as we're moving into the shrine. Gen.G taking the position a bit earlier. Here comes the damage. Eternal on the move, and a great attack here, trying to isolate the front line. Gen.G needs to move out as both of the front lines take severe damage.
A big split there for Team Liquid, though. Kerrigan not finding that full combo she was looking for, but Eternal doing his best to knock away Gen.G as Team Liquid is catching up in the count. 14-11. The shields coming out from Tyrael. Team Liquid doing their best to hold on, but Rich is really cleaving away his opponents.
Hazobs needs to be careful with the positioning here as he's looking for the engage once again. Eternal in the middle of things. Rich moving out again, dodging the stuns here. Billy in trouble, moving out and barely escaping as the fight continues and turns against Test.
So well, bring out the Fell Point, but Arcana is low. Get the shield here at the last second, comes around. Do they have the combo available? Rich will fall first. Sport Billy holding that front line too as well. Gonna have that trait value coming out soon. Arcana in the corner, goes for a combo. He gets 1, he gets 2, and the Tyrael trait value coming out, but it's just Nurok and Sake. A support battle for the agents.
It's a support battle, 2-rounded against Deckard Kane. 4 dead on each side as the fight continues. Nurok and Sake fighting it out here in the middle. 37 stacks for Team Liquid. 32 against 28. And Nurok is going for it.
Nurok's going for you. He has a better auto attack damage, and he should be able to get it. Sake's already backing up there. Malthael on his way. Nurok low on mana, trying to pull all these minions to the side, and Tyrael will come over. Gen.G gives it up.
What a bloodbath. What an insane bloodbath in the first shrine of the game. 4 kills on each side. Team Liquid gets the first Punisher.
And you know why he won that? Because of his level 1 Moonlit Arrows, a cooldown reduction, providing the heals. Big change there for Nurok as Team Liquid gets the first Punisher, and they push in the bottom lane.
Already worth it. Hashtag value. Here comes the pressure play, and once more they're trying to break through that wall, seeing how much damage they can put onto the fort itself. Hazo looking for those stacks on his Echoed Corruption.
Combo.
Sitting at 12. They're going for the combo. They're going for the kill, and Malthael kisses his life goodbye.
Team Liquid bringing the aggression. Kyocha spinning to win here, but will he be able to survive? The Fell Flames coming out. Inferno come up for the chase. Kyocha gets comboed again. There's the bop as Inferno goes in and finds another kill, and down goes a fort.
They go for the kill, they go for the double. Sonya down, and so is Malthael. The fort eliminated, and Liquid with the aggression in game number 4 take the level lead.
Team Liquid takes a level lead, immediately moves over to the mercenary camps, gets that pushing in as well, but Gen.G do not count them yet. They continuously will always come back and fight afterwards, and that level 10 comes online. Last Rites, Dragon's Arrow, Sonya being able to force a fight. That Wrath of Berserker in particular is going to make it much harder for Eternal and Kerrigan to shut him down.
Also, we didn't really see too many follow-ups for Nurok yet. Even he doesn't have a single stack on his level 4 talent on the Lunar Blaze, so they're not quite on sync just yet, but they already show that aggression within the fights. And especially Arcana has been landing some of these combos with, of course, Gul'dan just capitalizing on it, getting those stacks. 12 for him so far, but he wants to speed that process up. The early level 10 though. and the heroic abilities, this is where Liquid is going to feel confident to maybe even dive past a fort if they have an opportunity to get some kills.
I'm glad you pointed it out, because on that first shrine, there was so many moments where Kerrigan had a combo available, but Eternal knocked him out of the combo. The Luna Flare didn't come in, and that's going to be an issue on the second phase if they're unable to figure that out, especially with Decker Kane and his heroes coming on. Lord Nado gives you that sudden engage on Kerrigan. If you want to go with the stay a while and listen, you have that punish if Toronto's already used their Lunar Flare, so they have to make sure they're on point and they get that synergy together.
I mean, you look at Gen.G and who can they attack here? You have the Churl with the Sanctification, you have the Ardent Defender. You need to go for that Toronto, that Kerrigan, or of course Hazorps with Gul'dan here. So there's definitely a couple of targets in the back, but you need to break through the front first. There's the level 10s, the engage potential with the Hanzo Arrow once again, the finisher move with the last strides available to them too, as we're seeing Gen.G in a position where they are totally willing to see if there's a fight available.
It's going to be that Lord Nado coming in against Team Liquid. Kerrigan will have to watch out for that, as that will be the main way to make sure that you do not get the disengage that you are trying to get. Horrify available too for Team Liquid. Let's work on those mercenary camps. The next shrine will be in the top lane. Gen.G and Team Liquid doing their best to set up for that.
Both of the teams immediately with the camp here. Bot lane, very safe play here by Eternal. They don't have the vision, so he stays far back with his Urel, making sure that no one can collapse on him. That was a play that Gen.G pulled off several times against the offlaner in the previous maps. And here's the shrine. Big team fight again about to happen here as both of the teams get ready for the battle.
And it's time, Caldor, but Gen.G right now has the lane advantage, and they're going to use that, breaking down this turret wall. If they can, they would love to start looking on that well, but Team Liquid realizing how severe of a threat that is. Bring everyone up to defend that top lane, and here they are. Urel coming in for that flank as well, so Gen.G backs up. But again, they understand how scary Kerrigan is on the shrine. They get there first.
I love how both of the teams are absolutely willing to bring the fight here. And once again, Hazorps from the backline, getting the stacks in for his Echoed Corruption. Arcana looking for the combo. Nurok will have to be there with a follow-up, but they need to also protect the flank here as we see Tiss moving forward with the Condemn, trying to set it up for his teammates. Tiss needs to be careful here, eats the damage, but Gen.G moves in deeper.
Arcana at the same time is just jumping around ready for that combo. There's a fear and there's a pick. Sanctification comes out too, and here's a Maelstrom. Arcana go for the chase with Inferno leading the charge.
He's jumping in, they want to go for Tiss here next. Also Kyoja, the spin to win is active once again. Eternal still hopping around here with his Urel. Ardent Defender on cooldown, of course, but here comes Sonya. They're trying to go for her. He's so low and Kyoja falls.
Inferno's low too, but he keeps hopping in, providing that armor, and Team Liquid finds 1, 2, 3, 4 kills in total as Team Liquid gets the top lane pushing in, and the best part too is they have a lead on the shrine, 21-11.
A 2-level lead, 10 kills against for the lead on the shrine. All eyes on the keeps, on the structures, as Team Liquid is looking to capitalize on the team fight victory.
Gen.G's got to play slower. Malthael having a really hard time on that front line. He's stepping up, he's getting comboed, going for the aggressive plays. He's got to make sure he has his support there of Decker Kane before he moves in. Team Liquid is pouncing constantly on top of Rich. And the other part too is that Kyoja's been a bit late on these rotations. We had the majority of Gen.G on the shrine immediately, but they actually lost out on the race because they didn't have Sonya, their main clear, there to get these minions.
It's so difficult right now for Gen.G to really break through the Tyrael and Urel combo that we are seeing from Team Liquid. Every time you see that big engage happening, the Sanctification, the shields, they are there, and Hazorps with the Horrify made a great play, and it's ready again. They can look for a kill here. If he lands the Horrify, it could be Keep, it could be more. The Protector, the Punisher is already going in, it's Arcane. Here comes the Horrify, and they try to get the kill against Kyoja, but Sonya moves out.
With 1 HP, but the Punisher available for a jump again. Rich is backing up here. He will be able to stay alive, but the Keep, not so lucky. Team Liquid turns their attention, and they will burn it. Catapult Pressure will be pushing in that top one. Wait a minute, it's a 5. No! The Corruption Stacks finally get the kill as Gen.G is chasing, looking for a kill.
The Arcane Sentry with the last spin delivers the damage as Team Liquid gets the 10-minute keep against Gen.G.
22 Corruption Stacks, 4 Hostile, looking over to Toronto, only hitting 1 Lunar Flare this entire match. Imagine if he actually connects with those.
It's actually insane. He had a tough time so far landing those Lunar Flares for sure. And also, the stacks that we're seeing on Gul'dan are not really all that high. He started off well in the early game, but he started to fall off a bit in those big fights. It also just shows how well Gen.G plays around that and just doesn't stack up.
Usually trying to finish it off before 16, but Team Liquid a little over half a level from that 16, so need to finish that up as soon as possible, but Gen.G continues to play around it. Gen.G at the same time, though, is trying to find themselves back in the game. With 2 levels behind, they want to find some experience, and they're looking for it here in the middle lane.
Yeah, the 13 talents are also strong. I mean, at this point, with no escape on Kyoja, the extra speed bonus that he gets is going to be huge. Shroud of Wisdom here for the Spell Arm on Malthdale, who's sitting at 161 stacks for the Black Harvest on level 4. And of course also the Blast Hammer. More damage coming in, more survivability. Gen.G definitely still having the tools here, but this time it's Liquid who starts to walk away with these advantages. They're now getting the talent advantage. They have the 16. They can use it for map control, maybe steal a few camps away, and also immediately just turn their attention towards some structures.
Yeah, they're pushing this advantage, making sure to take that lead and doing something with it. Kyoja's coming for a flank here. Arcaner goes in. No combo yet. Kyoja spins here, playing it safe, goes in for a combo. Eternal taking some damage. He should have that back soon.
Horrify is ready. Gen.G has to be very, very careful that they don't overchase. If they walk into a bad choke point and then the Horrify comes through, that could be another big split in the team and Liquid picking up another kill. So Gen.G has to be cautious. They have a lot of tools to get a kill themselves, but if they are a bit too greedy here, Liquid could turn around and punish them.
Gen.G working on that 16. If they have to, they can give up this middle shrine as well. It's definitely a possibility for them to build towards that 16. This fort here in the middle is something that stands in the way, but Team Liquid is trying to do away with that. Make sure that they don't have options to just allow that shrine to be given away.
Someone on the side of Gen.G has to step up and really make that play. Is it going to be Hansa with the arrow? We're going to see the Blessed Shield engage, or maybe that Tornado. Someone needs to give them an opportunity to get the kills, because right now Liquid, they know exactly that they have to push this. They cannot simply let Gen.G walk away with that. They have to be very careful that as long as they hold the talent advantage, they are getting value. So they take the fort in the mid lane, and they immediately think about invading the camp towards the top left.
We'll go to the top left. Corruption's coming out. Kyoja's dropping straight on Arcaner. Arcaner comes in for a combo, misses out, but he's able to dash away. Tiss on the other side is going for that back line and taking a beating.
Tiss needs to be really careful here. He's immediately being attacked. He's going for the Iron Skin, but we also have the Horrify coming out, and again it's Malthdale that falls. Team Liquid with another kill to run with the final blow, and Tiss also about to fall here. Billy wants him, but the heals are there. Sake is keeping his front line alive.
Exactly. Team Liquid's main focus is on this shrine, and they already have Arcaner on there, jumping up to 10-0 right now. There's no way Gen.G can contest this. All they can do is try to work on that level 16 themselves, but they are thinking about maybe coming over here and contesting against Team Liquid, who's trying to take away this Bruiser camp.
Eternal is ready though. Eternal is ready for it. There's just no way. They're thinking about it, but they don't have 16. They're 2 levels behind, and they give it up.
And Holy Ground too, there's no way they can move in for that, so Gen.G wasting some time here, some time they could have used to grab that experience. They actually put Kyoja on the bottom to work on it.
Yeah, exactly. Sonya at the bot lane right now is trying to get the experience here, trying to even play it safe around Vision, because he's not quite sure, is someone maybe rotating over? But that's not the case. Team Liquid is laser focused onto the mid lane right now. They've already taken the top keep. If they can now move through the middle here, that would be fantastic for them. And it's not the only lane they concentrate on. We have Eternal topside trying to escort catapults towards the core, but he has to be careful that he doesn't get picked off here.
Trying to keep those catapults alive, wanting to make sure that if they have the option to go for a core, they can move forward with the aid of catapults.
Gen.G doesn't have 16 yet. Liquid with the advantages. They're looking for that engage once again. Wrath of the Berserker gets popped at Gen.G defense. They're trying to. No 16 for them yet. They're working on it, but the keep in the mid lane is about to fall.
Oswald has that Horrify up. He's looking for a prime target. Kyoja eats that big jump coming in there for the Punisher. Arrow! It whiffs, so Tist, however, steps up with a condemn. Horrify hits on the back left.
Horrify is being used here. We already have Arcana starting to jump in with the Maelstrom. They're looking for that engage again. No sanctification just yet, but the keep is still in play. Gen.G with the defense. They're going for Eternal!
Eternal on a defender gets some healing there. Arcaner's already used that combo. He needs to build a couple of seconds. He's starting to escape, but Rich is on the chain. Rich trying to find those combos here. Tis also stepping up as well. Team Liquid trying to get out, but Rich gets in the middle of them all.
Rich with a play attempt here. Sanctification, use that kill! Down goes Malthdale! Urel with the counter kill. It's a 1-for-1 as Gen.G keeps chasing.
Gen.G keeps chasing at the same time, though. Catapult are pushing in that top side, so Gen.G has to back up and start looking in the map control, but they've gotten a 1-for-1, and they've gotten 16, which is the important part.
They defended the keep. They defended their keep as the attack started. They didn't even have 16 talents, but even with the Punisher, Gen.G held on to the keep. That was a great defense by them. And then they get the kill against Urel there later. A huge chase for them, trying to push Team Liquid back. Incredibly well done by Gen.G here, and they are keeping Team Liquid in a position where Liquid has to be oh so careful.
And we have to revisit this. The level 1 talent for Gul'dan is only sitting at 25 stacks of the 40 needed. That extra damage is so important for Team Liquid. That late game corruption that you're looking for is not available for them.
Gen.G just doesn't allow the opportunities to stack. Normally when you hit 16 and get the Ruinous Affliction, you want that completed. But that wasn't the case here. Hazorps has hit some incredible Horrifies. But his echoed corruption stacks are just not where they should be.
So we're looking at Kerrigan. She's the main focus now because you don't have that late game power spike that you're looking for on Gul'dan. They're gonna have to finish that up at some point. Between Sport Philly on the Tyrael and Arcana on the Kerrigan, they gotta find these combos. But Gen.G gotta be feeling pretty darn confident. Now able to set up those full combos that we're looking for. Now Team Liquid building towards that level 20, but a Shrine will be spawning pretty darn soon, and Gen.G is starting to feel comfortable on the map. You see them moving around, sharking, looking for an opportunity.
Yes, and Liquid immediately moving back Gul'dan at the bot lane too, because as you said, Gen.G looks for that opportunity, and Hazo pushing the lane out. Only can do it because he knows where everyone is positioned from the opponent's team. But the second they start disappearing off the map, he's moving back and joining up with the rest of them. It's all about that level 20 now, all about another potential kill through a Horrify. And Gen.G is looking for a battle. They have so far not been able to get a big kill here to Malthael either. The last rights has not once been successful here.
But Gen.G's got to be happy about this timing here for the Shrine at the top. It gives them a little bit of wiggle room to be able to jump on that Shrine. I'll be up here in about 20 seconds. Meanwhile, Team Liquid having Kerrigan in the middle to work on that 20, soak up. Gen.G taking what experience they can, grabbing this turret, putting some damage on the minion wave, maybe even a little bit of damage on the fort, but time is running out.
Arcana is in that mid lane though. He's in the middle, he's getting the waves, he's getting the experience, and Liquid is saying, all right, we take the next wave topside, come up, we join up here, we go for the 20, and then we force the fight, and Gen.G is trying to race that Shrine as fast as they can.
Gen.G only getting 4 minions there, cleaned up. Team Liquid steps up. Sport Philly with that holy ground trying to lock in Tis.
20.
Trying to show him here. Corruption comes out. 20 has connected, and Kyoja pops Wrath.
They have their Storm Talents right now. They're trying to go in Kyoja with the Wrath, as you already said, as Tis is trying to look for the side.
Same time, Tyrael holding that front line as best he can. Arcana looking for a combo.
Malthael still on the Shrine. He's
Here it comes out. Kyoja. Whoa, Kyoja trying to escape. Will the poison be enough?
They keep him alive for now. He survives. Here comes the tornado trying to split them. But again, Gen.G looking for a counter kill.
But Team Liquid is healthy. They look at Rich. Rich turns around, drops the last right. There's the sanctification.
Sanctification comes through, and again, you're out with the jump. And down goes Johanna. Team Liquid takes the oh-so important kill.
Takes the important kill, but also the Punisher. Gen.G thinking about fighting here, even stepping up to grab the experience here on the top lane. They know how important this 20 is. They are afraid of losing this Punisher and being pushed in.
Top keep is gone. They need to do something, and they know it.
Look at Ritzo. He gets knocked back, and another kill comes in for Team Liquid. Team Liquid is hungry for a game 5.
Team Liquid mercilessly takes them down one by one. 2 deaths already, and Gen.G is sticking around, trying to go for the backline. They try to go for Arcana.
They're trying for it. Hostile also in trouble as well. Hostile actually gets taken down. Gen.G has done it. Reset, able to jump over the wall. Wow! Kyoja at the same time is finished.
Kyoja, he gets cut off as Sport Billy jumps in. You shall not pass.
Kyoja, though, trying to stay alive, though, going to the back lines. Arcana comes in with the Ravage, with the auto attack, and gets the kill. Meanwhile, the entire time, Punisher is pushing the top lane.
And Punisher's on the move, and with the hands are falling, the chances of Gen.G to defend here are dwindling away. Another stun connects, and that is Deckard Cain gone. Team Liquid moving towards the core, moving to victory, forcing game number 5 out of the Korean powerhouse. Down 1 game in the series, and they turn it on Infernal Shrines. They go in, they dig deep, they go for the aggressive plays, Kerrigan jump, Sanctification, the power plays at the front line, and at the end of the game, Team Liquid forces Gen.G onto a final map in the semi-final at BlizzCon 2018.
If there is one thing this team has, let's go with 2 things. Drive and heart.
Yeah.
Team Liquid coming out in game